Good evening, everyone. So we're going to speed things up. We're going to do three books tonight because there's really not a lot in all of them. In fact, the book of Obadiah is literally 3 pages long, and that's on like a super granny, large print Jesus words in red Bible. Um, let's just let's just tear through this. So the first sign I talk about is Aquarius, which is represented by the man. So technically Aries begins the year, but we're going to start in Aquarius because that's near the beginning of our year, which is stupid. And I've been over this. I'm not going to revisit it right now. So it goes back to the story of Zeus and the young boy, which I've told before. You can see other videos. That's the story of Aquarius. But there's key words in Aquarius, as this is a man holding a water pitcher pouring it out. The son of man or man, because Aquarius is the sign of the man, whereas Virgo is the sign of the woman. Baptism, water pitcher, fountain, stream, river, pond, lake, ocean, sea, water bodies. Because although Aquarius is an air sign in astrology, because there's water in the physical picture, they used it to encode that way. Whereas Pisces is actually a mutable water sign, the two fish in the actual water. So all the water examples still play in stream, river, pond, lake, sea, ocean. The way you could tell whether it's Aquarius or Pisces depends on the patterns that they make. And I don't think we have any in this presentation. I know that we have a ton in other ones, but Aries is the ram. And in Aries, you have March 21st, which is the spring equinox. It's a 12-hour day and a 12-hour night. There's also three different kinds of Passovers that take place during Aries. The first is the sun passing over the equator and back on its way to its height in the summer solstice, which it just did little less than a month ago. The second is the Jewish Passover, when the angel of death passes over anyone that doesn't have the lamb or the ram. Aries, the ram. The lamb is a baby ram. Anyone that doesn't have the lamb's blood smeared on their doorpost. The reason for that is they're identifying themselves as the people of Aries, whereas they just left Egypt, which was the people of Taurus, which is why they used to have slaughtering of the bull, the golden calf, things of that nature. So the third one is the resurrection of God's Son. That's the Christian Passover. All this takes place in Aries. So whenever you hear ram, lamb, shepherd, or ram's horn, you're talking about Aries. Taurus is the bull. And when you look at the sky and you see Taurus during the season where it's supposed to be, you know that you need to put the plow on the bull so that you can plant the seed so you can harvest in Virgo and Libra. So whenever you hear bull, ox, calf, or cow, you're talking about Taurus. Gemini is the twins. It's the story of Castor and Pollux Troy, whose sister is Helen of Troy. It's the story of Achilles. So whenever you hear twins or brothers, you're talking about Gemini. Cancer is the crab, and it's the sideways moving creature. Just as the sun rises a degree on its axis starting on December 25th, it stops on June 21st. Then for 3 days, it rises to the same degree, moving sideways. Then on June 25th, it lowers a degree. The crab in the ancient Egyptian time was known as the scarab. So whenever you're talking about crab or beetle, you're talking about Cancer. Leo is the lion. He's the king. He's the king of the jungle or the savannah, or whatever you want to call it. The ruling planet of Leo is actually the sun. So the glory of Jesus, the glory of the Son of God, is when the sun reaches its apex in Cancer, and that's the beginning of summer. That's the glory. And then it goes into Leo, where it then rules Leo, and that's the glory. Those two are the glory. So whenever you hear lion, lioness, or cub, you're talking about Leo. Then Virgo is the woman holding the wheat stalk. So remember before when you said that you plant in Taurus, well, the virgins would cultivate the wheat in Virgo in order to make the bread for the year. So whenever you hear virgin, wheat, or woman, because Virgo is the sign of the woman, grain, seed, barley, corn, these are things about Virgo. Next is Libra. Libra is the justice, the scales, the balance, the just one. The reason it's the justice is because it judges God's sun as it passes over the fall equinox and begins its descent into winter, into cold, into death. Whereas it's heralded in the spring equinox as the Passover. Here it's being sentenced because it's going to the underworld. The Jews always celebrate the new year around the fall equinox. Libra is also wine season, which is when you plant for the grapes in Taurus, you could press the wine here. Libra is also olive oil season. That's when you press the olives. So keywords: law, judge, justice, the just one, divorce, marriage, court, wine, vineyard, wine press, olive oil or olive oil. That's all Libra. Scorpio is the scorpion, and he is the betrayer. When a scorpion bites you, and I actually had somebody reach out to me and said that a scorpion doesn't bite; it actually stings. And they're correct on that. It's not really a bite; it's a sting. But when the tail stings you, okay, it's going to leave an imprint in your skin that looks like a pair of lips. And I uploaded a picture on my community page on my YouTube channel. You can see what a scorpion sting looks like. It looks just like a pair of lips. And it's why the mafia has the kiss of death. And it's why Jesus was betrayed by Judas with a kiss. So the sun is judged in Libra, then it's betrayed in Scorpio. Finally, in Sagittarius, this is where the bow and the arrow shoot the sun and inflict further punishment on the sun. This is where the sun dies. Why? Because on December 21st, the sun is at its lowest point. It cannot rise any lower. It's dead. It's the dead of winter. It remains at that lowest level for 3 days, walking sideways like the crab in Cancer. 6 months later, it walks sideways in winter, which is why Jesus was dead for 3 days, or God's son, I should say. When on December 25th, or the birth of God's son, it rises another degree and starts to make its way back up top, the hero's journey, the great climb, whatever you want to call it. Whenever you're talking about horse, bow and arrow, spear, or horseman, you're talking about Sagittarius. And then finally, Capricorn is the goat because he likes to climb the mountain. And if you look at the zodiac wheel that I've placed here on the right, Capricorn's all the way at the bottom. Now put a little sun there, all the way at the bottom, and walk it a degree to the left, climbing alongside the wheel on its way to its height at the top of Cancer. It starts the great climb up the mountain in Capricorn. That's why it's the goat. So whenever you hear goat or kid, they're talking about Capricorn. So let's just jump right in. Book of Joel. It has the teeth of a lion, the fangs of a lioness. It has laid waste my vines. Mourn like a virgin in sackcloth. The olive oil fails. You vine growers, grieve for the wheat and the barley, because the harvest of the field is destroyed. How the cattle moan, even the flocks of sheep are suffering. Before I explain this to you, I want to explain to you how this works. What I do is I go into a book, like the book of Joel, or the book of Amos, or the book of Micah, or the book of Revelation, or whatever I'm talking, and they're broken down into chapters. What I do is find all the astrology in that chapter and put it all together and find the patterns. I never cross over from like the first book to the second book. It's all in the same book. And I think that's how it was supposed to be written. So the lion and the lioness are Leo, the vines are Libra. The Virgin is Virgo. Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. The olive oil is Libra. The vine is Libra. The wheat and the barley is Virgo. Again, Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. The cattle is Taurus. The sheep is Aries. Aries and Taurus are connecting signs. Aries and Libra are opposing signs. So this is all found in the first chapter of Joel. This is the second chapter. They have the appearance of horses, with a noise like that of chariots. I am sending you grain, new wine, and olive oil. The horses are Sagittarius. That's the horse. The chariot is a constellation called Auriga, which incidentally is one of Ptolemy's 100, in 150 AD, 48 constellations, which is in Gemini. Gemini and Sagittarius are opposing signs. So whenever they're talking about the horses and the chariots, always the horses and the chariots, you're talking about opposing signs, Gemini and Sagittarius. Now, the grain is Virgo. The wine is an olive oil or Libra. These are connecting signs. So let's go to the book of Amos now. I told you these are going to be very short. That's why we compacted 3 together for you guys tonight. In the house of their God, they drink the wine taken as fines. Now then, I will crush you as a cart crushes when loaded with grain. The archer will not stand his ground, and the horseman will not save his life. So the wine is Libra, the grain is Virgo. These are connecting signs. The archer horseman is Sagittarius. Virgo and Sagittarius are one half of all the mutable signs. I explained this. This is another pattern that you could find. The mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn. The fixed signs are Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. The first sign in a season, there's 4 seasons, there's 12 zodiac signs, there's 3 signs in a season. The first sign in a season is known as the cardinal sign. That's why there's cardinals in church. Each of those zodiac signs can be broken down into 3 10-day segments called decans, which is why you have deacons and cardinals in church, because it's all astrology. The second sign in the season is the fixed sign, because it's between the two, it's between the cardinal and the mutable sign. It's the fixed sign because it's fixed in the middle of the season. I mean, that's why it's called the fixed sign, because it's dead in the middle of the season. Aquarius, winter. Taurus, spring. Leo, summer. Scorpio, fall. And then finally, you have the mutable water sign, which is what takes you out of the season. So, many times I struck your gardens and vineyards, along with your captured horses. The vineyards are Libra, the horse is Sagittarius. It will be as though a man fled from a lion, only to meet a bear, as though he entered his house and rested his hand on the wall, only to have a snake bite him. The man is Aquarius, the sign of the man, and the lion is Leo. Leo and Aquarius are opposing signs. The bear is Ursa Major, which is Cancer. In Cancer, Cancer and Leo are connecting signs, and the snake is Ophiuchus. Not going to dive too terribly deep into Ophiuchus, but they do encode Sidereal-Vedic astrology somewhat into the Bible. But most of my decodings, 99% of them, are done with tropical astrology, a nice even pie. Aquarius and Leo are opposing signs. They're also two of the four fixed signs. You dine on choice lambs and fattened calves. You drink wine by the bowlful. Do horses run on rocky crags? Does one plow the sea with oxen? The lamb is Aries, the calf is Taurus. These are connecting signs. The wine is Libra. Libra and Aries are opposing signs. The horse is Sagittarius. And then finally, Obadiah, there's only one. If grape pickers came to you, would they not leave a few grapes? Those who eat your bread will send a trap for you. The grape is Libra, right? And the bread is Virgo. These are connecting signs. So those are the three books that we're going to do today. And we're so totally almost done. The next one that we're going to do is the book of Micah. Hey, Micah. And then we have after Micah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more books. And then the Bible is done. And then I'll probably start writing my 9th book, or if you guys want to leave ideas for where to search for more astrotheology and more ancient texts, you guys want to leave some ideas where to look. I'm going to look at the Colburn Bible. I'm going to look at the Apocrypha. But if you guys have any further ideas, let me know.